I am Moya Chirube from Locos Ibala in Southern Africa. Now there are three paths in the world which can be taken by any individual soul or any creature. First, there is the negative path, which is the left-hand path. Secondly, there is the positive path, which is the white magical path. Then in the middle, there is the middle path, which is the neutral. It doesn't align itself to either of the two just mentioned. So it means that the individual person has got a right to choose which path to follow. The magical path, endure the consequences, or the neutral path, which is the actual road or path leading to the kingdom of God. So in relation to paths and the humanity, there were many prophecies over the ages coming into the Iron Age in which we are now. One of these prophecies was about a movement, a religious teaching, which would be referred to as Logos. Come the end of the Persian era, in the Aquarian era, this path, this new religion, was actually founded. The founder was a great teacher who had been a disciple of the masters of the Great White Lodge. So, the reason why then, one day, I was to find myself at the castle of the Lord Maitreya. On my right hand stood my teacher, Romrag of Syria, who had been my spiritual guide ever since childhood. The Lord pulled out a piece of white paper, and with a feather, he scribbled on the white piece of paper the letter Logos, and he said, "This is the name of your teaching, which you have just founded." For just a little while back, although I had been told earlier on when I was being taught the spiritual in the beginning by the master of the White Lodge, I was a bit reluctant to use the name Logos. It just didn't sound nice, good enough for my tongue to pronounce. So by scribbling the name Logos and giving it to me was a way of emphasizing that the movement I had founded was going to be known by the name of Logos. But little did I know then how much jealously Logos, this name for this movement, was actually guarded. Nations around the world, they held Logos, the term Logos, as their own. The Greeks as the owners. The Catholics, they took it that they were the first one to use the name Logos during the days of the apostles. And so it was regarded that it belonged to the Catholics. So many people actually went for Logos. They guessed the meaning of the name. And today we have the word Logos being used in different categories, in different places all around the world. But there was something very important which Logos, no matter what was going to happen to it, was actually signifying. It was signifying the end of the old age, the beginning of a new order in which a new brand of teaching to mankind was being brought into the world. This is the religion which was being brought into the world to uplift humanity from the old age of the Persian era, of the emotional water element, to the Aquarian age, ruled by Uranus, the lord of science. So this is where we are coming into. We are coming into this new movement, a new teaching, and this is where we are. So what does religion stand for? Why should religion of this magnitude, as prophesied, be brought into the earth world? Why not elsewhere, like in Venus or Mercury or Jupiter or any other world system? The reason is because our earth world is actually the one cosmic school of soul. We come here to earth, we are born into this world to learn. This is a school. It's a universal school of soul. So, bringing this new teaching into earth world at this time was to indicate to everybody, all the teachers of the spiritual and the other fields, that the old age was ending and the new one was coming, and the most important teaching in the world would be that of Logos, the spiritual science. So this is what happened. But what was Logos meant to stand for? What kind of teaching was Logos geared to undertake? Logos was about spiritual science. Logos, the spiritual science, was meant to uplift the teachings of all other religions: Christianity, Buddhism, Hinduism, and the others. So this is where we are in the world today. Logos, the spiritual science, otherwise the world spiritual movement, is supposed to be the most vocal of all doctrines. It is supposed to be the main following of the whole world, because anything else is in the past, unless spiritual travel, which is a part of Logos, the spiritual science. So I wanted to emphasize the fact that the reason why there are problems right now, why there is chaos, why religions are not effective enough, is because things have changed. The times have changed. Consciousness have changed. It has uplifted. We are still hanging on with humanity to the old times. So we are trying to solve all the problems with all the tools or instruments that actually had gone into the creation of those problems. So what we should do is switching over to the new teaching, which is meant for this age, the teaching of Logos. The teaching of Logos we are referred to as spiritual science, and spiritual science is a general term which I use to refer to such a teaching. Otherwise, Logos has got no name as such, no category. It is just about everything. It's science, it's art, it's everything. So, in a view of what is coming ahead, the teaching, the contents, the write-ups that I'm going to embark on, I decided that I must clear the ground before it by introducing this little topic of Logos, and how I was given the mandate over the name by the Lord Maitreya in the Himalayas in 1980. Thank you very much.